supposed to be easy. And if it's not, you might be off track. You might be overthinking it a little bit. You know what I'm talking about when you're all up in your head and you're like, oh, am I supposed to do it this way? Am I on time? Do I have all the. Relax, babe. It's supposed to be easy, okay? You're supposed to get there exactly when you're supposed to get there. The things that are, going on, like if it's taking too much brain power to figure out, it might not be for you to know right now. You might be supposed to be wondering, spending time, just kind of being confused, but you're not supposed to be stressing about it. Hey, I'm Sheba. How are you guys doing? I'm on day 22 of going every day. I'm going to do it for a year, but I just started on the, what is it? Spring, the first day of spring. Okay. So this is like day 22. It's so easy. Today is a Friday. So, I have therapy on Fridays. I intend to kind of do a free therapy Friday because I have such an amazing therapist and I just get such great information and insights from her that I want to relay it to you because I know in the US at least we do not have healthcare. And so I love to pass it along to you. But, today I had therapy and I talked to my Palestinian family. It is Ibrahim's birthday. He's turning 31. Happy birthday to Ibrahim. If you know how to say that in Arabic, please tell me because I did not know how. And me and Billy video chatted with them today. And yeah, I just, at the same time, I had a therapy appointment. And so after I got off the phone with Ibrahim and Asma and their family, I went back to talking with my therapist and some things came up that I did not anticipate. I recently just finished my vision board. So beautiful, so powerful. I'm going to share it with you guys soon. But, and I was going to share it with my therapist. I was going to let her know, like, girl, like this beautiful vision that came through me, let me convey it to you. But instead, what came up was something totally different that I didn't even anticipate, a kind of trauma, a trigger that I did not realize I was still grappling with, which has to do with trying to communicate, I feel very uncomfortable when I'm not able to use my words to communicate. Billy's from Guadeloupe. Everyone speaks French there. When we went there for Christmas one year, I was for the first time in a space where I didn't speak the language that everyone else did. So I couldn't convey how smart I am, how funny I am, how cool I am, how interesting I am, how good I am, And it was scary. It took me back to the times where I was like a kid and where I just didn't have the language capacity to explain myself, to defend myself. And so it's been so long since that time. I've learned to rely on my ability to, I have the gift of gab. I am very good at articulating myself in the English language. But when I can't do that, scary, babe. Scary. So I approached this thing, which was supposed to be really fun. And I was excited to talk to my Palestinian family. They're so excited to talk to me. And I went into it with this like fear of like, I'm like, I don't want to mess it up. What am I supposed to say? Like, I can't convey what I want to them. And we're just going to be looking at each other and it's all fine. I realized I was making it so difficult. And that's actually the sign that I'm off track because it's supposed to be easy. And when it's not easy, that's when I'm dealing with a trigger or with some sort of thing that I'm still wanting to heal or some misunderstanding. Something's going on because the divine way, your highest self, the God self, the version of you who knows you're the source, who knows you and the divine are indistinguishable, they know everything's supposed to be easy, babe. They're not stressing that they don't have all of the details and stuff. They're not, stressing that they're, whether or not they're going to perform perfectly, because they know there's no such thing, because they know whatever is easy is perfect. Okay, I know it's kind of hard to grapple with that, especially in this, matrix run world. The powers that were, they are crumbling, but they're still, holding on. So a lot of times, like a lot of things I realized were, you know, difficult only because other people told me they were difficult. So when I used to work at my matrix job, being an attorney at Social Security, everyone was always so stressed. We had to like, turn in a certain number of cases by the end of the week. And we would all be like, oh, stressed by Friday, trying to get it all in and all this stuff. And it was so like hard and difficult. And at a certain point, I started to realize like, actually, it's very easy. It's it's so easy that it's confusing me because I was told that it was supposed to be hard. So that it was not hard, I was like, something's wrong. And so, like, I took the ease, it coming to me easily. I was like, I must be doing something wrong because everyone here is running around like a chicken without their head. They're stressed. They're telling me it's complicated. They're telling me you have to have this like lawyer degree in order to do it. And I was just like, I don't know. I think it's easy. Am I doing it wrong? No, babe. It's supposed to be easy. I was doing it right. And so once I realized, oh, it's easy. It's made up. I'm just writing a story and no one is going to check really whether or not that story is correct, good, if I've made strong arguments, they're not really going to worry about that. So like, what am I doing making something more complicated than it is? There was this one time at work where we used to use one system of signing in our timesheet. And then we switched over to this new system of timesheeting, WebTA, okay? And before they switched over to it, they had meetings about it. They gave us emails. They were like, you can meet with the IT guys to make sure you're up to date. Make sure you attend this info session so you know how to do the change over to the timesheet. And so on the day it was supposed to happen, I got to work early because I was like, I want to make sure like I don't mess it up because otherwise I'd be getting to work at the exact minute, the last minute I am allowed to get there. I would do that. And so, but on this day I was like, let me get there early and see what's up and do it. And like literally you just say, oh, at 8 a.m., enter. That was it. And I was like, did I do it wrong? Because that was not just easy, it was like foolproof. It was so easy that I was like, am I doing it wrong? But no, everything is easy. Things are supposed to be easy. I think humans, certainly in this like era of our evolution, we're big on making complicated, no, other way. We're good at making easy things complicated. Taxes, for example. In every other country other than America, like for taxes, like the tax body sends you your like receipt for like what your taxes are and you just pay it. There's not like you have to buy the TurboTax and enter all of your stuff. And if you don't enter it correctly, they come back to you and they say, hey, you didn't enter your stuff correctly. And now you have to enter this stuff and get on a payment plan. And do you know why that is? Because Intuit, this company, this corporation that does TurboTax, they have a very powerful lobby group. They pay a lot of money to our politicians to ingrain themselves, to give themselves a job. And so now all of us in America have to do all of this stress and taxes are coming up and you got to do all this stuff. I remember growing up, I used to think taxes were like so difficult. I remember this episode of The Simpsons where Homer Simpson like got all of these tax things and he was like, don't bother me. And like, it's all this papers and stuff and he's stuffing it into a thing. And like, it's actually easy. It's easy. Everything is easy, actually. Everything is kind of designed to be easy. And so when it's hard, when it's complicated, it's usually actually not. Someone's usually trying to get something over on you. They're usually trying to get you to not look any deeper. Like with Zionism, with the Israelis trying to steal the Palestinians' land. A lot of you guys might be like, what are you talking about? Well, maybe if you're not with me, if you're with me this long and you've been staying with me, you know what's going on. And the way the powers that were have lasted for so long is that they were like making us think it was just this complicated thing, this that no one can seem to solve and will never be able, but like, no, actually, it was just white Europeans wanting to steal the land of the Palestinians so that the West could have a military stronghold in another area of the world. That's it. Not complicated, not a tale of 3,000 years of fighting and of all. No, literally just a bunch of white people trying to colonize and steal things that are not theirs because they're jealous. That was it. It was simple. It was easy. And once I realized so many things are actually easy, I mean, everything got easy. I know that like I'm going to continue to get paid a lot of money to show people why the thing that they're struggling with is actually easy. Just look at it this way. Literally, that's usually all it takes. Just one little tweak, one change in mindset, one, like looking at it differently. And you're like, oh my God, have I been stressing about this whole thing and it's actually easy? Well, hey, you had to figure it out. I guess you had to figure it out the hard way to realize that it's actually easy and it's supposed to be easy and it's easy for you. I was going to, I'm going on every day, and I have been getting in the habit of just doing it at around like 6 p.m. It's like kind of 6:30. It was like the golden hour. The sun was really, really beautiful. I loved being outside. But sometimes, I got stuff going on. So I had therapy this morning, took a nap. I chatted with Ozma and her family. And then me and Billy, we actually went to Columbia, Maryland, the first planned city in the country. Fun fact. And yeah, we went there to meet up with a new friend, and she was so cool. It was so fun. And I was like, I'm not going to make it complicated for myself and try to fit in an episode before we leave and things. I know I always have more than enough time and it's supposed to be easy. So, what is easiest for me? Go have your day. When you get back home, you can pop on for a couple of minutes right before you take a bath, which is what I'm about to go do. So, anyway, I know you're stressing. I know everyone around you is like, but it's supposed to be easy. So, relax, baby. It's supposed to be easy. If it's not easy, you might be off track. You might be overthinking it. You might be overcomplicating it because it's supposed to be easy. All right? Well, I love you so much. I'm going to get in the bath. What kind of a bath am I going to use? Ooh, I'm going to use my Fluid. It's like magnesium sulfates and stuff, things for, yeah, it's good for your mood and things. And yeah, so I'm going to pop in, have a soak, go to the bathhouse for a couple of hours and just chill because it's supposed to be easy. And it always is for me. So if you made it this far, like, comment, subscribe. I love you. Look at how beautiful and glowing I am right now. Okay. Like, I don't usually drink. I quit drinking for 3 years. But recently, so I quit drinking because I was like, I don't want anything outside of me to control me. But then after I quit it for 3 years, I was like, well, if I don't ever drink it because I'm afraid it's going to control me, it's kind of still controlling me. So even Jesus had a drink every once in a while. He was like, this water is not good enough. Let's turn it into wine. Okay. So all that to say, I had a couple of drinks and I love it. My tolerance is so low now. I'm a cheap date now. Oh, I used to be so I could tolerate a lot of alcohol, and now I can't. But I don't know if it's connected. I just always look so beautiful, but like, oh, look at me today, glowing, fecund, just bright, beautiful. I love that. All right. I love you so much. Let me get out of here. Let me get into my bath. All right. Like, comment, subscribe. And it's supposed to be easy. So cool it, babe. Easy. Relax. You got it. All right, Earth Angels. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.